I think that opens up the discussion to bring in Slana to the topic. I think one of the key factors that we are facing here is the shortage of equipment, and representing the non-vessel operating common container carriers, there is a need gap that Slana is fulfilling. So for the benefit of everyone, Harsha, would you like to explain what the role of NVOCC in this context is and how they impact this in this situation? What's their impact?
Okay, thanks Naveen. Thanks for bringing in the NVOs. So NVOs are non-vessel owning container carriers. So we are agents who represent principals who own fleets of containers. So most of them are dry containers, some are reefer containers, dry specials like flat tracks and open tops which carry project cargo, and then the ISO tanks, which is a liquid chemical waste and food grade cargo. So they are more regional players. I must say that it's more regional. So in the context of Colombo and Sri Lanka, Port of Colombo, the NVOs around here are basically Indian, servicing the Indian subcontinent ports, including Pakistan, that is Karachi, Bangladesh, all the Indian based ports as well as inland locations, and Malay, even Maldives, and plays a big role in the Gulf as well. Some operate from the Far East, from the base ports in China, Vietnam, Bangkok, Singapore, Malaysia. So this is the region that when it comes to the NVOs who are represented in Sri Lanka operate in. So they have come in, I think for the short haul business, they have come in, there is more interest. We see that our principals are more active. Of course, with the main lines there in the short haul as well, but they have taken a bigger interest in the long haul business because of the rising freight rates. Even in the short sea voyages, the freight rates have marginally gone up, of course, but not to the levels of the long hauls, which is the Colombo Europe, Colombo USA, and maybe Australia. But I must mention that NVOs also, like Shamal brought in the cost factor, which is a dying need for NVO operators, and because NVOs don't own vessels, so you use feeder vessels or sometimes even mainline vessels who have slot arrangements to bring in their containers to Colombo. So the THC factor and the slot rates and every other cost land based, it's trucking or depot costs, all that is a cost for our principals. So while they are in the trade, Sri Lanka, the cost recovery, the inability to recover costs, especially this THC, has been a dying issue for our membership since the last, I think, 6 years or so. So what I have to add to what Shamal said is, while legislation, in our view, our members' view, this has been hastily put in place a couple of years back to for the benefit of certain trades, which has now come back to bite them in the lack of equipment. Freight rates, yes, India to USA may be higher than Sri Lanka, but first of all, even to get the lower freight rate or the current freight rate, they have to have, the shippers need equipment. So the lack of equipment is the reason Shamal is saying that these THC recoveries and all not being there are not attractive for shipping lines and even NVOCC operators to position boxes here. Actually, NVOCC operators very rarely do empty repositioning because it's a costly affair. It's always a port-to-port import and export laden moves. And we don't, what I can tell also about NVOs is that they don't focus on, say, one trade, one type of shipper, especially apparel, who are dominating our shippers' councils, are not our main customers. So I would say tea trade and general cargo, I mean things like chemicals due to the ISO tank. Our members represent about 50 ISO tank operators, which is worldwide. Actually, even though it's NVO, it's from worldwide locations that they have a service. And the tea trade, the NVOs go to destinations when there is wars and there is war risks and certain things where main lines sometimes do not call those ports. The NVOs kept on servicing those ports and giving our tea trade a lifeline actually in the many years to certain places. And the Middle East trade is perishables is another, Middle East to India, certain sectors I would say are dominated by NVOCCs. For example, the Navashiva Colombo onion business, we have quite a good share. And I mean, at one point, for the 1 million import and export locals, which is only 1 million. I mean, sometimes in trade associations, people are led astray by saying that even with these kind of legislations, our imports and exports have grown, which I do not agree on. So it has not grown. It's grown very marginally. So it is the transshipment business that why the South Port is doing very well and the main lines are calling. It's for the transshipment. The locals have not grown in such a way. To do this container shipping business, something that shippers should know is there is a massive network in Sri Lanka, which includes setting up of inland container depots, which are billion-rupee investments, right? To make sure the importer returns the containers. Those are surveyed. There are certain criteria for that, and then repaired. And our exporters expect very high quality containers. That's another thing for tea, food grade, perishable cargo. So all that. And even garments, yes, so all that is done and the agent is responsible for these containers. So I wanted to add in that cost of a container also has gone up significantly. I would say even just like the freight rates, the costs, so these are rough costs, but 20-footer GP is about $4,000 today, maybe a brand new, and to get it down to Colombo it will be more. 40-footer also about $7,000. Reefers cost about $20,000. So and a tank is also $25,000 range. So these are things when an agent receives these containers, we are responsible for this, and we have to. There is a big role we have to play, and the big according to our legislation, very little we can hold the importer responsible if somebody does. We have a lot of other problems also because of COVID. There was a time where containers were held up in port, plus with importers, they didn't have facility to destaff, and a lot of problems. So this part of the industry also, I think more discussions like this should come about to educate, and maybe more people from the export and import industry should also join us to understand what a service is being done by especially the main lines and the NVOs as well.
Thanks, Harsha. I think what is important to understand and to create awareness to the shipping community, or rather the importers and the exporters here, is not just having the lines, I mean even bringing down the containers, the imbalance, because most of the imports are coming in 20-footers and our demand is for 40s. And even on that, when you look at the type of containers that they need for tea grade and for garments, is different to the normal containers. So it's not just the lines calling here, but the equipment is a key matter in this situation.